All right, Bella's at the gym, gonna catch up on some threes. Still behind, always behind on GAC because it's just so annoying. If you haven't watched chapter, I don't know, whatever, I think it's the 6th episode of this season's Mando, you gotta watch. It's really short, that's what she said, but it's really good. Is that what she said? Maybe. It depends on the day. Yeah, really, really good. Rosie, who are you even barking at? Obviously, I very purposefully don't talk specifics. No spoilers on the channel. But minchia maronna mia, really, really good episode. Gearing up for a nasty and awesome last 2 episodes of the season. There are a couple of issues that I have with a couple of things. I'm trying to be real vague here on purpose. I'm being vague on purpose. If you're in my Discord channel and you're looking at or contributing to the Mando Spoilers channel, you know exactly what my thoughts are on the matter. But if you're not in my Discord server, I would encourage you to come join and let's talk about Mando. You only have to be wary of the Pyflopniks tag in my Discord channel. That's Pyro, Onyx, and Flippy, and Cam, but Pyflopniks sounds better than Pyflopniks. Anyway, they're fine in my channel. They're actually pretty, well, Pyro notwithstanding, they're actually pretty good guys. They just like to break balls and push buttons, which I do too, just to a lesser extent. But yeah, so let's talk Mando in the channel. We're not going to talk Mando in or on here because there are plenty of people that are across the world, and by plenty I mean part of the 4,000 somewhat subscribers that I have. I do have more viewers, I guess, but whatever. Plenty of people do not have Disney Plus or don't have access to Disney Plus, so we don't want to, or just haven't seen it yet. We don't want to spoil it for them, but let's talk Mando because it's very exciting. I've seen a lot of unconfirmed rumors that there's a related, at least one, if not 2, related spinoffs. I haven't seen that from any confirmed source, so we'll see. By the way, I really thought that this trio of Jedi would be able to take down JML Watt. I really thought it would work. I know that the Han team works where you just stun and take out Watt before he can get taunt tech on JMLS. But I really thought with the shreds and the DPS on here that this would work. And as you'll see, I get up to 12 shreds or some shit. And it does not work. But I wanted to try it either way because I don't like breaking up Han from Chewie and Luke or Kira, depending on how and what I use it against. I really thought that this trio would work. I just elbowed my dog in the snout. Sorry, Rose. It does not work. 5 shreds already. Can't touch it. Can't touch this. Yeah, Mando. Sick. Really upset that there's only 8 episodes in the season, and the longest episode was the first one of the season premiere, which was just under an hour, or roughly an hour. That's the only downside, is that as soon as it comes, it goes. That's what she said. But Mando has been so immensely popular that I wouldn't be surprised if the bulk of Star Wars content we get is this direct-to-viewer streaming stuff, original content on Disney Plus. You may or may not have seen that Warner Media, which is the old Warner Brothers, which is now under AT&T after AT&T bought them, which is weird because why would a phone carrier and service provider buy a massive media entertainment company? But they did. Warner Media is going to release their new movies on HBO Max the same day that they release them in theaters, which, I mean, look, I'm no expert, but to me, that effectively kills the movie theater business. I mean, that is what it is because the movie theater business was already slowly dying. COVID did not help that, but yeah, so Warner Media going to be releasing all of their movies at the same time on HBO Max as they will release in the theaters. And that's very purposefully to try and compete with Disney Plus, Netflix original content. So what Warner's basically doing, so it seems, is rather than producing original content exclusively for their streaming service, they're just going to release things concurrently on their streaming service as well as movie theaters. I don't know how that's going to work out. There's been a lot of, if you follow CNBC or any kind of commercial business news, you'll see that there is a fair amount of concern with that strategy, insofar as people think that it is not going to work. I don't follow Warner or HBO or AT&T collectively closely enough to really have an informed opinion on it. Just telling you what I know. But I think it's going to be really hard to try and compete with Netflix and Disney Plus. Yeah, I mean, they don't have like a kick in the door, like any kind of, they don't have a Mandalorian, right? They don't have something, HBO Max kind of came out, almost as a surprise in May or June or something. They don't have like a brand franchise, doorbuster like Mando. Luckily, Mando was really, really good, because if Mando was not good, Disney Plus probably would have been not so successful. But they've got like 70 million subscribers since they released, or since they launched a little over a year or so ago, which is far above their projections and expectations. So that bodes well for Disney Plus. They'll probably continue to do that, which is why I think we could see no fewer than 2 possible spin-offs out of Mando. I very briefly looked up some rumor mill stuff, and I think that there are no fewer than 2 non-spin-off shows coming from the Star Wars universe on Disney Plus. Obviously, we know about the Obi-Wan Kenobi miniseries, but I think that there might be a High Republic series coming out. If you read the books at all, which I don't anymore, but if you read the books, you know that there is currently a big focus on the High Republic, which is the period well before the prequel trilogy. I think it's like a couple 100 years, or I don't know, but it's between the Old Republic and the Grand Republic that we see in the movies and video games. So there's a big push. I mean, look, there's literally thousands of years in between the time period of the Old Republic that we see in KOTOR and SWTOR, and then episodes 1 through 3 and on and on. Mando takes place in between episodes 6 and 7. Rox, you're so fucking annoying with that goddamn toy. Yo, chill the fuck out, man. She's got these stupid fucking, like, plastic bones that she loves to just wreak havoc with. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, High Republic. I'm not super keen on it because I think the more Jedi, the more boring it is, quite honestly. But we'll see. I don't even know who the bad guys would be because in the prequel trilogies, Ki-Adi-Mundi alludes to the fact that the Sith have been extinct for a millennia, which is 1,000 years, right? So if they do a High Republic series, which would theoretically be, I mean, I guess you could have a High Republic series that is 1,000 years before the prequel trilogy, which might allow you to have some Sith. Then, of course, there's that whole question about Darth Plagueis being Sidious's master. So, theoretically, could they do something like that? Yeah, they could. I don't know how excited I would be about that. I think Star Wars Resistance shit the bed. I'm okay with that. I never saw it, but from what I could tell, a little bit too much on the kiddie side. So, not for me. Rebels was like close enough on the kitty side. But I don't know. We'll see what they do. I am cautiously optimistic for what they're going to do outside of Mando. I wouldn't hate it if, I mean, this is not really a spoiler. You know Ahsoka Tano is in Mando. I wouldn't hate it if they did an Ahsoka spinoff. I watched Rogue One again yesterday, and yeah, there's a Cassian Andor spinoff coming. I'm not super thrilled about that. The only thing that I am keen about that is Alan Tudyk as K2, because he's hilarious. But outside of that, I'm not really excited about that series. I would much prefer to see a Jyn Erso spin-off series or mini-series even. I think that would be interesting. Saw Gerrera, I mean, you would have to recast Saw Gerrera probably because Forrest Whitaker is a little on the old side. I'm not really sure who you would use. Maybe Chiwetel Ejiofor. He could pull that shit off because he looks good with a little bit of scruff. Yeah, Chiwetel would be really good actually. Yeah, I don't know. Look, Cassian's not my least favorite character, but I think that there are plenty of far more compelling characters available to us without even having to really dig down into the annals of Star Wars, well, current Star Wars canon. Yeah, I would still love to see Timothy Zahn's Thrawn books come to life, whether it's the old ones, the Heir to the Empire series, or the current ones, the canon ones now. I don't care. I just want Zahn. Zahn is almost unequivocally the best Star Wars expanded universe writer. So why not? And he's made a lot of fan favorite characters. So why not use some of his material? Even if you don't use Thrawn, right? Talon Card, Mara Jade. I mean, this is the guy that introduced us to all of these awesome expanded universe characters. Why wouldn't we take advantage of some? I mean, Dave Filoni certainly has added or recanonized some of Zahn's best characters, like Thrawn and Rook in Rebels. Why not? Like, people love that shit. If you had made the Heir to the Empire trilogy, the original Thrawn trilogy, episodes 7, 8, and 9, I think that Star Wars fans would be a lot happier than they are with the current 7, 8, and 9 episodes. Look, I did not hate them as much as many do. I still thought that they were good and entertaining, but would Zahn's original Thrawn trilogy have been better? Unequivocally. Yeah. I mean, those are incredible. If you haven't read them, if you're too young to know what they are or to ever have read them, go read them. Go download the audiobook or something. You will not be disappointed. Original Thrawn trilogy. Really some of the, even today, even though they're decanonized, some of the best Star Wars literature out there. Any old timer that has read those will probably agree. I'd be surprised if they disagreed. But yeah, I mean, look, I've said it before, and we all know it. It's the genius of Disney buying not just Marvel, but Lucasfilm, because those two franchises have really an unlimited amount of content that can be produced under those franchises. I mean, they're two absolute cult favorite franchises. So it was nothing short of genius for Disney to buy those two franchises. Obviously, they've done very, very well with the Marvel franchise. Most would argue they've done better with the Marvel franchise than they have the Star Wars Lucasfilm franchise. But I still think that they've done a pretty decent job. Luckily, they kept Filoni on, because Filoni worked on Clone Wars before Disney ended up buying Lucasfilm. There's a lot of memes all over the internet about, Dave Filoni's shoulders must be so tired because he's just been carrying the Star Wars franchise for the better part of a decade and a half. And he really has. I saw some rumors that Taika Waititi is slated to direct a feature film. That'll be awesome. I would love to see Filoni and Favreau get in there for feature films, even though they're both very, very busy with Mando, obviously. But we know... I apologize for my allergies. They're raging today. We know that Favreau can do feature films because that's almost exclusively what he did for several decades, and really a decade just for the Marvel franchise. So, yeah, I think that would be really good. Love to see Bryce Dallas Howard coming back to Mando. Her episode so far this season was really, really good. Would love to see more from her. I love that she is getting into, or has gotten into, Star Wars like she has. She was not dissuaded by her father's movie Solo being, well, underperforming, even though I love Solo. So I think Ron Howard did a great job with it. I think had Ron Howard been in charge of Solo from the get-go, it would be even better. Yeah, I think Ron Howard did a good job, considering he came in at the 11th hour. But, yeah, so I'm cautiously optimistic for the future prospects of the Star Wars universe. I don't know if I want to see, as much as I love Boba Fett, I don't know if I want to see a 60-year-old Temuera Morrison have his own spinoff. Maybe a mini-series, maybe like a direct-to-stream movie or something. I think that could be interesting. I really wish that they being Lucasfilm or Filoni and Favreau, could expand upon Fennec Shand, because Ming-Na Wen is incredible. Not only is she really hot for her age, but, I mean, she's done a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, she was fucking Chun-Li in the Street Fighter movie. Like, come on. She can do some shit. Yeah, sometimes Star Wars has a tendency to kill off really good or potentially really good antagonists a little bit too quickly. But yeah, I would love to see more Fennec Shand. All right, let's see. Where are we? I've said it before. I'd love to see a Darth Maul miniseries or movie. Another character that really could be. Look, they did a really good job in it. What are the other things you think Disney could do to keep Disney Plus, or, well, specifically Star Wars, viable? I think there are certain pieces of expanded universe legends that they could and would theoretically bring back to canon. So post your thoughts. I can't believe that last team won.